He scored. There you go. Good boy.
Easy assignment this week? Just roll
Yeah,
and go?
yeah. I was in LA last night, so not too easy, and I got to fly to Baton Rouge after the show. So I'm not complaining. But yeah, I was in LA calling the Vikings around, or Vikings Chargers. But it's great to be here. Get to sleep in my bed for one night.
What does it say about this place and what this program has done to get all of these people here and get you guys here?
We were here in 08, I think was the last time we were here when they played Auburn. Just obviously living here, it just feels different. What Clark Lee's done to the program. I know Diego Pavia gets a lot of attention, and he should, but if you really follow them, they play great defense. They're physical at the line of scrimmage. Offensive line, obviously, is one of the top in the entire country. Diego creates a belief, but I think Clark Lee, the facilities, what they've done, considering their landline, and the whole thing has just kind of come together. And who better than Clark Lee as an alum and a guy from Nashville to kind of build this up with a vision, and now it's a reality.
This is arguably, the most anticipation for a Vanderbilt game that they've ever had here. I know you guys have been to such great venues, and everyone's always excited. What do you anticipate on Saturday from this place?
Well, I think it's great living here. I've told people, I feel like it's hard to describe. My kids went to MBA, and my younger one went to CPA for a while. And what I've learned, I've lived here since 11, this is like a melting pot of the SEC. And I think if you're a Vandy fan, you kind of take a back seat to Vols and Auburn and Alabama and LSU and pretty much everybody. And now there's a different buzz, and now there's a different belief. And I think the win against Alabama was kind of like that, oh my gosh, we can do this. The close call against Texas was like, wow, this is real. And you bring so much of what they built last year back this year. So now I think it's more of, this is a good football team. And I think the excitement, the city is now feeling it. It's very cool. In the past, half the stadium or more would be the opponent. And now that's not the case. So it's an exciting time. How can you not pull for the program and for Clark Lee? So I'm excited for them. But let's not sleep on Missouri. They're going to come in here kind of loving the fact no one's talking about them. So this will be a good game. I think it'll be a very physical game, typical SEC, but Vandy deserves this attention.
How does this feel different than that trip in 2008?
It was a long time ago. I think Bobby Johnson was the coach.
Yeah.
I don't know if they won another game after we showed up that year. So I think it feels different from a staying power. I feel like Vandy, win or lose, this is a program that is not going away. And I think that's the thing that I feel right now is this SEC championship this year is wide open. If you talk to Diego Pavia, he makes it sound like we're going to be in it. I don't know who we're playing, but it's 100% confident and serious. And I think it's because he's seen this program grow over these last 2 years. So it feels different because I think it feels like this is a program that isn't going away.
What kind of crowd and environment are you expecting here on that lawn tomorrow?
Oh, I think I've never seen really this part of the campus. I've always just kind of seen the stadium and the baseball stadium and just driving on West End. So this is cool to see the campus. I think it'll be great. I think people are excited to show the nation that the Commodores are for real. And this is their opportunity between the kick with Pat. Really, game day is more of a celebration of a Saturday, no matter where we are. It's just not taking ourselves too serious, deflecting all the attention on the players, on the sport. And we just try to be like a big tailgate for 3 hours. And we're hoping people come out and have some fun and include this in their pregame festivities before they get ready to go at it.
Kirk, a lot of people scoffed at what Diego said at the start of the season. They wanted to compete for national championships.
Yeah.
How do you like their chances? Because they're right in the driver's seat there.
Well, I feel like when Clark Lee has said that in the past too. And then Diego Pavia says it with a straight face. And if you're not within the program, I think, I even said to Diego when I interviewed him, when you say the national championship, people snicker. Not me, but I think the masses of college football fans, they snicker. And now what they've been able to do over the last 2 years, I don't know if people are snickering anymore. I think it's real. Even after beating Bama, they go to Tuscaloosa, and if they don't turn the ball over, there's a real shot they beat them a second time. So I think they're definitely getting the attention of not just the SEC, but the whole country. But this is a big stage and a big forum to actually showcase who this program is, and against a top 15 opponent, This is not just like you're inviting a random guest to a party. I mean, this is a big time. If this were LSU and Alabama, it would feel like, okay, but it's Missouri and Vandy, and our brains aren't conditioned to like accept that this is a massive game in the SEC, but it is. That's where we are in 2025. So yeah, maybe people were laughing when they first said it. I don't think they're laughing anymore.
When you look at this matchup, a lot of focus is on Vandy, but when you look at this Mizzou team, what impresses you through pretty much half the season with this guy?
Well, first, I think Drink does a good job of getting his team to play with a chip on their shoulder. I think they've done a really good job through the portal. Damon Wilson, you could argue, is making as much of a difference as anybody in the SEC. You put he and Zion Young up there up front, and they're physical against the run, which is going to be, to me, a game within a game is, can Vanderbilt run the football and avoid being in those 37s and 3rd and 8s? Diego Pavia is great when they run, and then he play action, and he can scramble around. Well, Missouri prides themselves on stopping the run and containing the quarterback. So I think that's going to be exciting. I think Bo Pribula has been really exciting to see what his abilities as a runner and passer. They're fresh off a loss against Bama, where they have a chance, much like Vandy did last week, they have a chance to kind of right the ship. So they're coming in at a good time to kind of have even a bigger chip on their shoulder. So it's two good teams playing each other. Who wins the turnover margin? Who wins the explosives? Will be the team that wins the game.
You guys go to the most exciting game each week, right? But what is different about this, or what can you compare this to, this Vandy rise the last couple of years that you're here?
Oh, man, I don't know if there's, I mean, going way back, what Bill Snyder did at Kansas State, and again, Bill Snyder, people may not know who that is, but when he took Kansas State, who didn't have a pulse, and got them to be year in and year out a competitive team in the Big 12, that to me really stood out as wow. Can't believe he did that. I feel like hopefully Clark Lee stays here for a long time. I feel like with the NIL and the transfer portal, they've been able to become a team that doesn't just have one guy like Diego Pavia gets the attention. If you don't know Vandy, you think it's Diego Pavia. If you're from here and you follow the program, you know it's Clark Lee and what he's built. And that's why I say even when Diego Pavia has to leave, there's going to be another guy that's going to come in here because of what's built around that position. So this is the only thing that off the top of my head, maybe Ames, Iowa, what Matt Campbell's doing at Iowa State, because he's pretty darn consistent year in and year out. But this is like a unicorn. It's one of one to me to be a doormat for decades, and then now be right there with Alabama, beat them one year, right there the next, right there with Texas. I mean, that's as good as it gets in the SEC, and they're playing well.
High school football here in Middle Tennessee continues to grow.
Yeah.
With you being a Nashville native, how much have you seen the talent level rise in this area?
Yeah. I mean, my kids played for Marty at NBA, and I always appreciated. I'd fly back and go to all their games, and really appreciated that league. CPA, I mean, all these programs, Ensworth, BA, and then you get into the public schools and the way, we've seen so many of those programs grow and develop. When I first lived here in 2011, I feel like it was starting to kind of grow, and I feel like there's been such an emphasis on training, such an emphasis on the sport itself and development. I think Nashville, it's become a big-time high school, not just in Murfreesboro, but really the Nashville area has become kind of a hotbed for high school football right now with individual and team play.
How special is it, do you think, that Clark is a local guy and he's able to do this here, and Candace isn't along too? I mean, that extra skin in the game means a lot more.
Well, I think what's neat about that is when it's your school, it just means more to you. I mean, Clark Lee could be coaching, at Iowa, and sure, he'd be doing a great job, but man, when it's your school and you go get Burton Simmons, who is your buddy, and you guys have this vision that nobody believes in, but you do, and you go from 2-10 to creating this, and it's your school. I mean, and then I love watching the stuff they do on social media. Like when he gives a speech, I mean, how can you not want to run through a wall for that guy? So I love how he does it. I loved him at Notre Dame when I really met him the first time as a defensive coordinator. He's just one of those guys you want your kid to play for, and win or lose, what he stands for and the way he runs his program is first class.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, you guys have a great weekend. Appreciate it.